Welcome to Idaho Trauma Therapy. I am Hillary Cook. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and today I'm going to be talking about hypnotherapy. So, what is hypnosis? Contrary to popular belief, hypnosis is not a state of deep sleep. It does involve the induction of a trance-like state, but when you're in it, you actually are in an enhanced state of awareness, concentrating entirely on the hypnotherapist's voice. So in this state, your conscious mind is suppressed and your subconscious mind is revealed. So kind of think of yourself as having these two parts of your mind, one that's active all the time, this is your conscious mind, your awareness, and your subconscious mind is in charge of like all the habitual things, those deep-seated beliefs, and that's what we want to access. So to get there, we need to induce this trance-like state so that we get past what some people call the critical factor. And what does the critical factor look like? Well, the critical factor, if I told you you're good enough, a lot of people are just going to automatically reject that thought and think, you don't know what I did when I was 5 years old, and you don't know me, and who are you to say that? And all of these things, so that's why sometimes affirmations don't work so great, is because we have this critical factor. So to overcome that critical factor, we induce this trance-like state, so we get you in a really deep state of relaxation, and then we can give you these great ideas and these behavioral modifications that gets deep-seated into your subconscious instead of being just in this conscious level where you're just like trying all the time. Some examples of this might be like you train to overcome the fear of flying, and so you might rationally understand that like, okay, being on a plane is safer than being in my car. But there is this deep-seated fear still that's causing all of these issues for you. And so if we're able to bypass that critical factor and get underneath that, that's something that goes beyond behavioral modification. So how does it work? Hypnosis is thought to work by altering our consciousness in a way that the left-hand analytical side of our brain is turned off at the time, and then our non-analytical right-hand side of our brain is just more alert, and it's able to go ahead and make those changes for us. So the conscious control of the mind is inhibited at the time, and then the subconscious mind is able to take over. And since the subconscious mind is that deep-seated, more instinctive force where our habits come from, then it just basically allows us to make those changes to our basic instincts more easily. So kind of what does this look like in treatment? So first, a lot of people think, I cannot be hypnotized. I have tried this before, or I just saw some people at the fair get hypnotized and it didn't work on me. So the important thing is to find a therapist that you can trust and that you're willing to be hypnotized and that you know what they're going to be offering you as far as solutions. So trust is a huge part of it, and you being motivated to actually make those changes. So let's say that somebody comes in and they're like, you know what, I want to quit smoking. Like, okay, do you want to quit smoking, or does somebody in your life want you to quit smoking? Because that's a huge difference in whether or not the hypnosis is really going to work. Are you motivated, or is somebody else motivated for you to quit? So it has to be aligned with your true deep-seated desires. So if your desires are aligned with the goal of the hypnotherapy, and then you trust the therapist. So that might take a little bit of time to build that rapport, and there might be some trust issues that you just need to work through before you actually get to the hypnosis part. So we want you to be relaxed, trusting, and on the same page. And also know that you're not going to be able to be hypnotized to do anything you don't want to do. So let's go back to thinking about the fair. People at the fair might get up there and like balk like a chicken, or pretend to be drunk, or do something like wild and crazy. Well, they have this inner acceptance that like, I'm at the fair, I want to have fun, and they're willing to behave like that. Because you see people that get up there and like, let's say that they're a recovering alcoholic. So they're sitting in the little chairs up in front of everybody, and the guy has them all in a state of hypnosis, so they're all in this trance-like state, and he's like, hold out your hand and pretend it's a cup, and I'm going to fill it up. And the person that is like a recovering alcoholic does not have them fill up the cup. Like, just sits there because that's not acceptable in their brain. Like, they know that that's not something that they would participate in. So really, you are in complete control the entire time. Like, no one's in control of you. You're aware the entire time. Sometimes the other thing is that you might think that, like, you're not going to know what's going on, or you're not going to be able to move, and that's completely untrue. Most of the time, you're just in such a deep state of relaxation, you don't want to move, or you don't want to open your eyes, but that doesn't mean you can't. And so sometimes it's surprising for people. They're like, oh, I heard everything that was going on, and like I heard like people outside the door and like all of this, and like you're still aware of that, but you're just more focused on the therapist's voice and more focused on what's going on at the time, because your subconscious is so cued in to making those changes within you. So you still could come out of hypnosis at any time that you choose. It's not that deep of a state. And some people, going back to, oh, I can't be hypnotized. Some people think that they can't be hypnotized, but that's actually more of a trust issue. And if you think about it, like, we've all been in this trance-like state. Watching TV, watching a movie that makes you cry, that's that trance-like state where you're just so wrapped up in this movie that, like, you find yourself sobbing at something that you know isn't real or isn't happening in that moment. It's not happening to you, but you're just really enraptured with it. Also, they call it, like, highway hypnosis, where you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you get home and you're like, oh my goodness, how did I get home? It's a little scary, but that also is a state, like that trance-like state. So we've all experienced it. It's just really about whether or not you're willing to go into that state with the therapist. So what kind of things can you work on? That list is endless. Anxieties, phobias, pain, smoking, weight loss. And then there's hypnotherapy. So hypnotherapy can be used in trauma, which Idaho Trauma Therapy, that's what we do. And so I use it for people to go back, and we do connecting with your inner child and doing healing from there. And so we can heal from previous childhood trauma. Or we can also do ego state work, where we're looking at different parts of you and seeing maybe what's blocking you from getting that healing and living that fulfilling life that you want. And maybe you've tried a bunch of other things and it just hasn't ever worked. And this might be that key where we need to get into your subconscious and see what's really in there and what parts of you, maybe this pain or whatever's going on, is serving still. So if you have more questions and want to learn more about ego state work or hypnotherapy or just hypnosis, feel free to go to my website. My website is www.idahotraumatherapy.com. There's like a huge list of things that I use hypnosis and hypnotherapy for. Or if there's something that's not on that list and you're like, oh, I wonder if she could help me with this, yeah, feel free to email me or give me a call. My email is hillary@idahotraumatherapy.com, and my phone number's on the website. So feel free to give me a call. We could do a consultation. Or if you're just wondering what else could be helpful to you, feel free to check out my website. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day.